What's up, YouTube? It's Ryan from AnnihilatorMTG here, and today we're going to be playing some more Vintage Cube. So, let's get straight into the draft. Alright, let's see what we've got here. I like the K command the best so far. You wouldn't be wrong to take something like the Consecrated Sphinx or even like the Avenger of Zendikar. Maybe even the Tutor, the Reanimation Effect, or even, say, like the Signets aren't bad either. But to me, K Command is so much fun because it leaves you open to so many possibilities. I love modal cards for that reason. So, yeah, I think we'll be taking the K Command here. Alrighty, so I like the Glenalandra the best here. The Fallen Shinobi is pretty good too. As is, say, the Preordain if we really want to go Grixis. I don't mind the Through the Breach, but it's a little bit weak compared to, like, say, a Sneak Attack. Survival's excellent, but we're not exactly in those colors. I don't hate the Pack Rat or the Shriek Maw or even, like, the Thran Dynamo. But to me, Glenalandra is such a powerhouse that even if we don't end up going Grixis, not taking it just seems wrong. So we'll go with that. Well, I think we have to take the Duress here, mostly because it's early interaction, and in my opinion, early interaction, if you're going to go with a control or mid-range strategy in the cube, is not just important, it's just flat out necessary, because there are some strategies that just absolutely demand that you either have an answer or you have something proactive in the form of, like, a hand attack, for instance. All right, so here I think we take the Duretti. It's probably the better value pick. Although, to be entirely honest, I don't hate the Thunder Maw. Although, if we are going to be playing like a 5-drop, I would maybe want it to be just a touch more powerful. Although, if we do wheel it, having that as an option wouldn't be terrible. Okay, so I think here I want to take... Okay, I want to take the Jace, but I think we have to take the Faithless Looting. And the reason I say this is because the looting is just easier on our mana base, and it can actually help us keep hands where we don't necessarily have the lands that we really want. We can dig a little bit farther for them and kind of ditch the cards that we don't need. And with the Jace, it's just a little bit too constraining, especially if we're going to be going Grixis, so I think we'll just take the looting. Well, here I think the best card is either the Imp if we want to go with like a reanimation strategy, although we did pass up the reanimation effect in pick 1, so I think we'll take the Avalanche Rider. Well, we don't exactly have the best pickings here. We'll probably just take the Recruiter and, like, not use it, I want to say. Otherwise, I don't necessarily hate the Terastodon, but yeah, I'll just take the Recruiter. Obviously, we can't play the T-Don. Alright, Brutality every single day because it's so unbelievably versatile against, like, Mana Dorks or even, like, controller spell-based decks. So here, it's a toss-up between the Mortars for removal or the Fiend if we want hand attack. I'm actually kind of inclined to take the Mortars, just because, I mean, the Fiend's good, but it's super easy to kill, so I think we'll just take that, especially since we already have the Brutality, for instance. Okay, so I think we could take the Shriek Maw, with the only downside being that it doesn't really target every creature, which is not great. We can get into situations where it's just stranded in our hand and it's kind of useless. And I don't really want to be in that type of situation, so I think I'll take the Terror. Plus, there are better removal spells in the cube, and we have a good chance of running into at least some of them. I think we can also take the Hell Rider here. I don't know if I'm going to be playing either of these creatures, to be entirely honest. I love the Thunder Maw, though. We can play that. So we'll take the Ritual here, although we're likely not going to play it, which is fine. And we got a Nighthawk, which is good for anti-aggro, which we might actually need here. And an Avacyn. That's fine. Okay. So I actually think here we can take the Reanimate. I don't know if our mana curve is really good for something like Bob, and Dismember is great, but we'll likely wheel it, and if we don't, that's okay. Alright, so the Liliana here is just the Windmill Slam pick. It's very strong, and I think this is great news for us. Let's see. Oh, alright, well, we've got a couple of options here. If we really do want to go down like a reanimation path, we can take the Necromancy, which is very good. The Hippie is also viable, and the Phyrexian Arena can be absolutely backbreaking in a kind of a gridlock scenario where we're just top decking against our opponent. Yeah, I think we'll take the Necromancy effect so we can try to really make this happen. I think we can just take the land here. Having a good mana base is very important, at least in my experience. Okay. Let's see. We don't really have that many great picks here. A Braid is pretty good because it can hit, it's modal, so it can just hit a bunch of different things, be it a Mana Dork or perhaps like a Moxen. That would be excellent. Otherwise, the Ink Eyes is pretty good, but I think we'll just take the Abrade, and we can probably cut the Mortars. Okay, so here the Croxa seems like the MVP. I don't hate the Shieldred. It's a great reanimation target for sure, but Croxa is just excellent. There's also something to be said about the land, but Croxa is really, really good. Languish is good, Banefire is good, but the Bazaar helps us immensely with our reanimation effects, actually fueling the graveyard. We'll take the Worm for obvious reasons. It's a great target. Little board wipe that can also deal massive damage when it lands. Really only for tiny creatures, but it is what it is. Okay. Well, we could take the Lavamancer, which is great for like removal of smaller creatures. I don't think we can take the Confidant, especially if we're going to be playing Reanimator, because flipping like a high mana cost creature would just be absolutely backbreaking. Okay, so I think here we can just take. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can take the Arena. It's just that strong, and it's a great value engine. Yeah. Well, we could take the bargain too, but I don't really know what the chances of us actually playing it are, to be entirely honest. We could take the Ink Eyes, it's not terrible, and the Necrotal is fine too. And a Linvala, whatever. Oh, okay. We've got a lot of options here. I think, well, obviously we need to take the Mox. That's for sure. It sucks that it's not on color. And the library is really, really good, but we'll just take the Mox. You gotta. Oh, and great, a Thoughtseize? Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, that's really, really good. Okay. I think this is a toss up between the Regisar and the Shallow Grave. I think we're inclined to take the Shallow Grave since we have enough enablers as it is in terms of like the Bazaar, the looting, the Lily, and even thought seizing ourselves. So we'll take that. Wow, what a pack. That's unbelievable. So in terms of raw power, which there's a lot of here, we're gonna go with the Mind Twist. I love the Fiery Confluence though, just in terms of flexibility. It can hit so many different things or just get through for damage, and that is incredibly valuable. So I hope we can wield that. But the Mind Twist is so unbelievably good that we have to take it. It's just no choice. Okay. So here I like the Lava Claw Reaches simply because it's mana fixing. I wish it was an untapped source. But yeah, I think we'll just take that. Astron Rider seems like the pick here because we need more reanimation targets, but I do love Inquisition and Imperial Seal. Interesting. So I think Liliana's Triumph is useful more often than the Dark Dwellers is, simply due to the fact that it can clear the way in terms of threats or just buy us time against green decks. With that said, the Dark Dwellers in particular does have an appeal of like a late game threat, but I think the Liliana's Triumph is the way to go. Okay, so here I think we'll just take the Mutavault. There's something to be said about the Memory Jar, and I don't even really know if we're going to be playing the Mutavault at all, but I don't know. There's really not much else in that pack that we strictly speaking needed. Oh man, it sucks that we can't pick the Jace, but I think we got to go with the library just because it's so unbelievably powerful. It's not necessarily what we want to be doing, and I don't know how often we'll have a full grip, but it certainly has more upside than the Shrine does, although I do like Shrine in terms of its level of inevitability. Here we'll take the Dreadhorde just because it's the best card in the pack and there's a lot to flash back, so that's pretty good. Alright, I don't think our pick really matters here, so I guess we can just take the Steam Can. Blast Zone isn't bad, but it is what it is. Um, let's see. Oh god, we wield the Fiery Confluence. That's incredible. Nice. I think we could take the Oblivion Stone here. Don't know if we'll play it, but that's fine. Same thing with the Field of Ruin, and last pick doesn't matter. So, there we have it. Alright, YouTube, so here's the deck. It's a Rakdos Reanimator style build that has a little bit of a mid-rangey flair to it. We managed to get a Mox, which is excellent. It's off color, but it is what it is. I think in terms of power and consistency, this deck is, well, pretty darn good. So I'm excited to see how this goes. So without further ado, let's move on to the first match. All right, match number 1. Best of luck to our opponent. Let's get started. Well, this isn't great, to be honest. But I don't see. Actually, yeah, this is pretty rough. Being able to curve out into the Lily, which because we're inevitably going to get another land. Being able to do that, I feel like we can keep this, but this might prove to bite us in the butt here. I tend to be pretty confident with mulligans and whatnot, perhaps leaning a little bit on luck too much, but we'll have to see. See what opponent has. They have a swamp of their own. Let's not get thought seized. Excellent. Okay, and the Lava Claw reaches. Good, good, good. All right, so now that we have our red source here, we'll be able to play our Liliana next turn if it doesn't get stripped out of our hand. We'll be able to pitch the Ashen Rider, and then from there, we'll see what happens. A Vampiric Tutor, well, that's not the best thing to see. We'll see if our opponent is playing Reanimator or Storm or... Yep, some combo. That's interesting. Well, we don't have very many answers to enchantments, unfortunately. I think here we just go with a Liliana. That's pretty fair. It is likely that we probably should have played the Mountain, but we're going to discard the Ashen Rider anyways. So that doesn't much matter. So we'll pitch the Ashen Rider. See what our opponent discards here. Okay, our opponent discards a Steve, which is not exactly what I expected. So this leads me to believe that they're not playing some kind of weird Reanimator shell with Survival of the Fittest, which would actually be a pretty interesting way to leverage that card. Mesmeric Fiend, that's no fun. Although we can destroy their Mesmeric Fiend with a Lily. Although I don't necessarily think that's what we want to be doing. We're safe from the Ravager for the time being, which is okay. But yeah. Maybe if we draw like an Abrade or something, that would be pretty good. Alright. Okay. Let's play the Mountain. Let's Looting. Okay. We'll pitch this and this. Let's make them sacrifice the Fiend. I'm okay doing this now that I know that I have the Duress. I'm not entirely sure what they'll have in their hand in terms of non-creature spells, but we'll have to see. Oh, I was weirdly right. How nice. It's not really what I was looking for. Okay. Well, this is at least manageable. We'll take the Necromancy because I don't want to give them choice. And then we'll jam the Dreadhorde Arcanist here, which will let us duress again. Okay, so I think that, to be quite honest, we're in a pretty good spot here. If our opponent draws a card, then they'll be able to play their Oracle, which I'm not too thrilled about. But other than that, we're in a pretty good spot. Even if they do something like pitch the... Yeah, I guess they can if they have another land, they can pitch the Oracle to find their reanimation target, then pitch that again to the Survival of the Fittest, and then Shallow Grave from there. But it doesn't look like they're going to do that since they didn't immediately play a land, which is very good for us because it means we can start dismantling their hand. The Survival of the Fittest gets significantly worse when their hand is empty of creatures. And of course, we won't be able to get the Oracle with the Duress. But if we strip their hand and they play God knows what, our Liliana will be able to do just that. Just wanted to make sure I clarified that. Okay. Well, there's a Mox. All right, I'll uptick here. and we'll just discard the Mox. Like, who cares? Survival of the fittest. Okay. Oh, they can Shallow Grave at instant speed. That's fun. But I should be able to kill whatever they have, unless they're getting Grizzlebrand. Woodfall Primus, that's not great. That's super not great. Might have punted here. Okay. To rest them, they'll likely Shallow Grave in response. Take a look here. Yep, here they go. They got the Shallow Grave, Woodfall Primus. The Lily will die, which is unfortunate. Guess we can take the search, I guess. All right. So I believe they sacrifice it at the end of turn, which is, I mean, it's unfortunate because it means that we, yeah, I think we just wait it out. It will. Oh, it's exile. Okay, that's excellent. You should actually learn to read the cards. Losing the Liliana is unfortunate, but now they're down the reanimation effects, and they're down a pretty powerful card. Not to mention they've lost their Oracle. So their only card in hand is an unknown at the current time. They're also pretty crunched on lands, and we have a man land, so things are looking pretty okay, I would say. With that said, I think here I'm inclined to flash back the looting. Ooh, we could pitch the Massacre Worm, and did I pitch the Swamp? Let's see. Yeah, we'll pitch the Swamp. Okay. Then we'll reanimate, targeting Ashen Rider, which is, in my opinion, significantly better than, say, their Woodfall Primus, their reanimation target. We'll see if this resolves. Don't know why it wouldn't. All right. So it's debatable here that it might be a good idea to take the Survival of the Fittest, but at the same time, I'm somewhat inclined to just hit their Swamp, take them off black mana. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Even if they have a creature in hand that they will, discard with a survival, them having access to no black mana whatsoever is a bit backbreaking. All right, so they will pitch a Dryad. All right. They get an Eternal Witness. Okay. So now they're hoping for the top deck land, which they get. No problem. Yeah, it's not the end of the world here. They're getting the Necromancy back. All right, we are definitely in the market for a Thoughtseize here. That would be very nice. All right, that is in fact not a Thoughtseize. All right, so we'll swing in. Let's see. I probably should have gotten in with the Lava Claw. Played a little bit too hasty there. I'll have to see what happens. All right, so they get a 4th land here. Interesting. I'm going to let that through, solely because I don't want them chaining together reanimation effects with an Eternal Witness and all of that other stuff, so we'll just kind of keep that on the board awkwardly. Ooh, that's very nice. That is Very nice indeed. Yeah. Yeah, that will do just fine. Okay, so we will jam the Confluence. We will deal a butt ton of damage. They will take 6 plus 5 from the Ashen Rider. Okay. Now we're at the phase in the game where they basically have to win next turn. Otherwise, basically have this wrapped up, especially if we top deck a land so we can jam the Thunder Maw. And there we have it. On to the next one. All right, I think in terms of sideboard stuff here, I'm not entirely sure what is really all that good here. Yeah, I mean, there's not much, to be frank. I guess, like, taking out the Nighthawk, because it's a bit do nothing. Take out the Nighthawk, get, like, Liliana's Triumph. That's okay. But yeah, I think other than that, we'll just go with what we have. I feel like our targets are a little bit more powerful than theirs. Plus, we have some pretty nutty things with the, like the Abrade for whatever they happen to be doing in terms of like creature strategies. Like if they have any like mana dwarfs or whatever, all of our discard, which we seem to have in hand. So we'll keep this. Yeah, I'm pretty okay with what's been going on in this match so far, but who knows? Our opponent might just pull out like a Lotus or something. That would be awful. All right, so we'll jam the Duress. All right, an Assassin's Trophy, a Dryad, and a Plague Crafter. Well, that's not the most awe-inspiring hand, which is good for us. I do respect the Plague Crafter quite a bit, however. And Dryad's good too, but less so in my opinion. Okay. All right. Well, we kind of need some lands. Yeah, we definitely need some lands. I'll take a Faithless Looting off the top as well to bin our creatures, but I would like to get a land next turn. That would be mighty important. All right. Okay, that's not... I should have perhaps been a bit more specific to the magic gods. It's not entirely what I was talking about, but we'll make it work. All right, we'll uptick. All right. So now we can start to control their board with the Duretti, which is nice. Yeah, they can play Crafter, which is unfortunate, but then they'll only get in for 2. Yeah, I don't think that would be back-breaking, and if anything, it might just get them to waste their Plague Crafter, which is nice. They'll be doing it to sort of buy their Dryad a little bit more time, and I'm not so sure how much that will matter in the grand scheme of things, but I'm interested in seeing where this goes. All right. So they attack for 2. I'm going to let it through. Cool. No shenanigans, which is nice. A Soul Ring. All right, well, Abrade wants to hit that. Sneak attack. Ugh. Well, that's gross. Luckily, we can sort of deal with all of this, hilariously enough. Okay, yeah, I actually think we can literally deal with all of this. So we'll hit this. Sacrifice an artifact. So we'll sacrifice the construct. Assuming our opponent lets it resolve. They jam the sneak attack. That's not particularly great. They jam the Plague Crafter. Okay. Then... Oh, this is tough. Do we... Abrade their Plaguecrafter in response. I think we do. Yeah. This is wow, this is something else. Alright, so we'll abrade their Plaguecrafter. So now they can't sacrifice it, which means they have to sacrifice the Dryad. So we'll sacrifice the Defender. Excellent. Alright, not exactly what I wanted to do there. And I guess we'll just jam the Thoughtseize. They probably just have a land in hand, but... Oh, Eternal Witness. Okay. Well, that was quite the chain of nonsense. I am all for it. We'll just pass priority, see what our opponent does. Hopefully it's nothing nutty. All right. Excellent. And we get the swamp. All right, so we'll uptick with the Duretti here. Then we'll play the Phyrexian Arena. If that Phyrexian Arena stays on the board for, I want to say maybe more than 2 turns, I think we're going to be in a really, really good spot here. At this point in the game where it's just like top deck mode and everything's kind of slow, the Phyrexian Arena could be really, really good. Sneak attack, that's not great. Wolfall Primus, gross. So they'll hit the arena, that's fine, I guess. They will attack the Duretti. I will let that through because they have trample, so who cares? That's a little bit unfortunate. They sacrifice it. They will likely hit my swamp. Yep. All right. Now we just need to top deck one. Mind Twist. That's not exactly what I was looking for. Okay. All right. Well, we're hurting a bit here. Maybe more than a bit. We'll take 5 from the Woodfall Primus, which is, again, not great. Hoping to top deck a swamp so we can kill it. Very Confluence, that sucks. I'll Mind Twist for 1. You hate to do it. You absolutely hate to do it, but let's see. What is this? Necromancy. Ugh. Lord. So normally I think they would get back their Eternal Witness just for value. But because of the Mind Twist still being on the stack, I think they're just going to go with the Plaguecrafter to clear a way for their creatures here. Now, I don't really know how relevant that is because the Woodfall Primus already kind of has trample, so it's like, yeah, it doesn't really make that big of a difference, but I suppose it beats just having the Necromancy Mind Twisted out of their hand. So, yeah. We'll sacrifice our blocker. They sacrifice their Plaguecrafter. Alright. And then the Mind Twist resolves and hits nothing. We at least forced the issue there, so I'm not too upset about that. And our opponent plays a 5-drop? Acidic Slime. Okay. Well, I think that'll be it. Yeah. That's about it there. Alright, so that was unfortunate, but we can try again. Is there anything I would like to change? No, I think this is okay. All right. Final game of the first match. Best of luck. This is meh. However, if they do manage to bin something insane, we can just steal it with Reanimate. So I think because of that, because we might literally just be able to punk them out, I think we'll keep. Which is, again, very nutty. Not to mention, I don't hate the Avalanche Riders here, but we're a little bit far away from that. Alright, so we'll see what our opponent does. See if they have some kind of like Entomb or something. Alright, they got the Ravager. Or Raging Ravine, sorry. God. All right, we'll play Mountain and Pass. Don't hate the Liliana's Triumph, but it's not really doing us any favors at the moment. Okay. Opponent plays a Swamp. Sakura Tri-Builder. Okay, not bad, not bad. We'll play the Duretti. Uptick the Duretti. If we can draw another land, I mean, it's interesting that we're in the same exact predicament as we were last time. But if we can draw a Swamp here, I guess we don't really need a second Swamp, but I would like one. If we can draw a land here that actually taps for mana, then we're in a pretty good spot. If that doesn't happen, the Duretti will do at least a half decent job at distracting the opponent and kind of drawing their fire. Okay, I do not like the Mesmeric Fiend here. Luckily, if they, if they take, they take the Reanimate, we just kill it with, Liliana's Triumph, we can kill it with the Duretti, we have options, you know what I mean? On the other hand, the Ravine might be able to take it out, which I'm not too thrilled at. However, if we kill it with the Duretti, then we can hold up the Liliana's Triumph, and if they try to attack, then we can get rid of one of their lands. So this could go a bunch of different ways. All right, they take the Liliana's Triumph, which is interesting. I'm almost half inclined to reanimate their Sakura Tri-Builder, get a land. Again, that's a bit much, but all right, what are they doing here? All right. Okay. Oh, looks like our opponent's actually going to play something. Ooh, Assassin's Trophy. Interesting. Yeah. Huh. That's not quite what I expected to happen, but that's cool all the same. I mean, they know they're going to lose out on a land here. However, is it just objectively better to jam the... Is it just objectively better to jam the Thundermaw and just go? Maybe not. I don't know. This is tough, admittedly. Let's see. I think we'll just go with the Avalanche Rider. Yeah, I think we'll just go with the Riders. I think we'll take the... See, I'm not too threatened by the Ravine if they're behind on mana. So we'll just take one Swamp on the off chance that we can start doing other shenanigans. Kind of restrict them at least a little bit. We'll swing in for 2. I was only really concerned with the Raging Ravine when I had a Planeswalker on board. You know, and to be honest, I'm not entirely sure that Assassin's Trophy was necessarily the way to go there from our opponent, but I guess we'll have to see. Play a Misty and they crack it. They get a Taiga, as expected. And then they have a Oracle, okay? Ooh, a Vraska on top. That's no fun. Okay. You know what? Interesting idea. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. Well, we'll reanimate our Avalanche Riders, because that's just hilarious. And then we'll take their other Swamp. Well, okay. And then we'll jam the Thundermaw. And we'll be on our way. Okay. All right. Hopefully they don't have a Swamp, otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot. But that just felt good to do. I'm like, oh, okay, we can do this. The utility reanimate. Who would have thought? Plus, being able to draw the... So do we? I don't care about blocking that. Being able to draw the mountain that enabled us to play the Thundermaw is excellent, in my opinion. All right, so I'm thinking about letting the Avalanche Riders die again and just using the Necromancy to bring them back one more time. I think that might tempo our opponent out enough to warrant a victory here. So we'll try it. Gio Liliana, that's excellent. So yeah, I think this is all but wrapped up at this point here. So we'll Necromancy, target the Riders. Okay. And we'll hit their Ravine. Now they're down to 2 lands, which is hilarious. And we'll jam the Lily. Okay. Good stuff. And there we have it. All right. Got a little bit funky there, but we managed to win match number 1. On to match number 2. Let's do this. Okay. Match number 2. Best of luck to our opponent. This hand is keepable, I believe. We're kind of strapped for a mountain here, but we have plenty of chances to draw one. So let's see what our opponent has for us. Hopefully it's nothing too aggressive. So they play a Mana Dork. That's okay. All right. Mountain off the top. Excellent. Okay, that's good news for us. So we'll jam our basic swamp here and likely play the Kroxa on turn 2. All right, let's see what our opponent has. They play a basic forest. Okay. They swing in for 1. That's interesting because they don't have any 3-drops. It's good for us. And they pass. Okay. Oh, a Fiery Confluence. That'll be very good. All right, so we play our basic mountain, and we'll jam the Kroxa. Kroxa triggers on the stack. We'll yield to those. Save a little time here. And our opponent discards a forest. Okay. Not bad. All right. So let's see what inevitable 4-drop our opponent must have, considering they didn't play anything on 3. And a basic plane is very interesting. Okay, some Selesnya. Not bad. Ooh, that's not particularly great. All right, so we're going to be hunting for a mountain here for our Confluence, because that'll be able to blow out their entire board. All right, we'll play this Mox, which is okay. And this basic swamp. I think instead of Mind Twisting here, I'm sort of inclined to go with the Arena. That way we can have a greater chance of finding an untapped red source, so we can cast the Confluence and take care of our opponent's board. It might be incorrect not to Mind Twist on account of green having some ways to basically immediately win the game. But I think I'm confident with taking the risk here. So they populate their board. They get a wolf token. Not bad. Okay. They swing in. That's no problem. Okay, so we take 4. All right. Okay. So we'll yield to this, save a little bit of time, get a swamp, and a K command. Huh. I wonder. Huh. Okay, well, we can do something weird here. And I don't know if this is like a good idea or if it's like really stupid. Okay. So just making sure I can do this. Yeah. I think we can. Huh. All right. So we'll tap for the K command and we will, let's see. Okay. We'll discard, which seems weird, but trust me here. And we'll deal 2 to their 3/3. All right. That resolves. We'll dump the Massacre Worm. And then we'll Shallow Grave the Massacre Worm. Now their 3/3 master can die, their entire board gets wiped, and they take 6 from the Massacre Worm effect. Okay. Oh boy, that was. uh, Sorry for the giddiness. That was. I don't think I've ever actually done anything in Cube that strange, to be entirely honest. But man, this format is something else. It's just really fun. All right, so we'll exile with a Shallow Grave. And now all we got to do is hopefully top deck a mountain or something so we can fire a Confluence for the win. All right, our opponent plays an Arbor Elf. That's fine, not too threatening. All right, that's not exactly an untapped road source, but it beats nothing. So I believe we will just Mind Twist for a billion here and completely dismantle our opponent's hand. Let's see what they have. I wonder if they'll just scoop. Let's see. Ooh, a natural order. Good God. All right. Well, that saved us a bit of trouble, but now we kind of know what we're dealing with here. So let's see what our opponent does. They play a forest. Okay, so this is all but wrapped up at this point. Now we can just jam the Fiery Confluence and be on our way. Good stuff. All right, we hit him for 6. All right, good stuff, opponent. Let's see. Nighthawk isn't that interesting, in my opinion. I like the Mizzium Mortars here. I think I like. Do I like the Necrotol or do I like the Grim Lavamancer? I don't mind the Liliana's Triumph, to be honest, because this can at least hit. Like, if they have a Progenitus, we can hit that, which is pretty good. Okay, so we go with that. And then in exchange, we take out. What do we take out? Take out a Duress? Sure, okay. All right, we'll run it back with this and see how it goes. Oh, yeah. I mean, this seems absolutely lame, but we'll be able to do something about their mana dorks, and then we'll have Liliana. Granted, they'll at least be able to play 3-drop, but we'll be able to slow them down a little bit. Hopefully they don't have one, and hopefully we don't draw literally all of our lands. That would be unfortunate. All right, so we'll pass here, see what they do, and they swing. Okay, excellent. No 3-drops right now. Okay, so play a swamp, and we'll do 2 modes here because they might have a natural order, and I don't need all these swamps. So we'll discard a swamp, kill their mana dork, and see what's in their hand. And there's the natural order. Jeez, just how we wrote it up, I guess. So they got 2 forests and an ooze. Next turn we'll be able to Liliana, most likely with no trouble whatsoever. An Arbor Elf, very nice. Okay. Play the Mox Emerald. Play the Mountain. And here we're regretfully going to have to make them sacrifice the Arbor Elf because we don't want them to be able to play the ooze. So they have a forest and an ooze. Get rid of one of their forests. So they have an ooze and an unknown. Interesting. Reanimate. That's fun. All right, we'll uptick. It'll be interesting if they discard the ooze. Good lord. Yeah. Just how we wrote it up. I'll take that. And then I think we'll just play the Arcanist. And that will be that. So now we have a pretty aggressive clock here. Opponent has an unknown. Deranged Hermit. How fun. Alright, attack of the squirrels. Alright. You know what beats squirrels? Dragons. Wish these were flying squirrels. That'd be hilarious. Alright. We'll yield to that. And that's that. Alright, that was a fun match. Let's see if we can get another win and get that 3-0. Okay, got to match number 3 here. We won the die roll. Best of luck to our opponent. Oh yeah, this is a keeper. This is a big keeper. Interesting. I'll play the library here. This is very confusing to me. Not being able to play a Thoughtseize on turn 1 that we have in our hand. That's definitely odd. We'll see what our opponent has here. The cool thing here is we have a ton of coverage in terms of like being able to handle different strategies. If our opponent had like a Moxen, for instance, we have the Abrade to take it out. We're actually able to play our Thoughtseize here, activate our library. There's a Mind Twist. That's pretty nice. All right, so let's jam the Thoughtseize. See what our opponent has here. Ooh, some like value Jund. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we'll just take the Raphaelos because that's something that they actually can play. But interesting hand all the same. Okay. All right. Get a mountain. Guess we'll be activating our library. Yeah, we'll activate the library, draw a card. Nice. Then we'll play Black Cleave. Then we'll play the Croxa. Put the Croxa effects on the stack. All right, I like where this is going. I feel like we have a pretty strong game here. Pack Rat, all right. Well, we'll be able to make quick work of that, hilariously enough, with the Culligan's command. However, there is something to potentially be said about just Mind Twisting now, just because, like, that's, it'll work. However, I don't like the Pack Rat. I don't like having to deal with the Pack Rat. That is particularly annoying. The Thundermaw can attack the Lily. Now, they can't play the Lily next turn. So, yeah, I think we will library here. Continue to get as much value out of this as we possibly can. We'll play a mountain. And then we will, let's see. Okay, command. They discard one and then hit the Pack Rat. All right, they discard the Sad Robot. All right, we are very likely going to be seeing a Bloodbraid Elf here, which, again, is fine. So unless the Bloodbraid Elf hits something absolutely devastating, we should be able to deal with it completely fine. Oh, interesting. Scrubland. All right, so let's actually see the trigger before we worry about anything. Oh, an Avacyn's Pilgrim. Wow, that's not really what you're looking for here. Looks like they got a Tooth and Nail, Shambling Vent, Swamp. Interesting. Okay. All right, so we'll be taking 3 here. And we'll be able to Mind Twist plus Abrade, the Bloodbraid Elf. Ready's pretty good here. All right, so we'll play Swamp, then we'll Braid the Blood Braid, which is a sentence. And then we'll play the Mind Twist, and I wouldn't be surprised if we just see Concession here. Wouldn't be surprised at all. All right, Orzhov Signet and the Liliana that we knew about. Okay, now unless our opponent top decks something catastrophically devastating, we should be fine. Lingering Souls, that's annoying. Well, actually, that's not annoying because our... Ooh, and they did both. Okay. Boy. Geez, when you have it, I guess. And that's not even like a comment on me. This is just dumb luck at this point. All right, so there's a Thundermaw. Goodness. Okay. All right. Then let's... Looting. We'll dump these two. Don't really care. Showing a Mox is like unfortunate because we probably could have just won without the looting. But it is what it is. Not too worried about it. All right, they play a land. They swing for 1. Ooh. Nice. Okay. We are getting a lot of Fiery Confluence finishes in this series. And honestly, I never usually draft the Fiery Confluence for that reason, just for the versatility, but we are going to the face. All right. What's up, YouTube? It's Ryan here. While editing Match 3, Game 2, I noticed that the video capture seems to be corrupted and I was unable to salvage it, so we're going to have to skip straight to game number 3. I wanted to apologize for that, so stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the match. Okay, this seems like a good hand. We'll go with the looting. Interesting. I think we'll dump this and this. Yeah, as crazy as that sounds, I think I'm fine with that. Oh, we didn't actually play the Mox. Whoops. Just hoping they don't have Thoughtseize. All right. Okay. All right. So here we're going to play the Mox again, or play the Mox. Then we're going to looting again. This time dumping these two. We have a Reanimate in the wings, which is excellent. We'll be able to get the Ashen Rider, destroy whatever they have, and be on our way. All right. Dark Confidant. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I think we'll go... Yeah. Reanimate, targeting the Ashen Rider. Get the Bayou. This will at the very least slow them down. I know the Dark Confidant is going to kind of lead to their inevitable, like, ridiculous amount of card advantage. But hopefully slowing them down and having a 5/5 flyer will be enough to kind of close this game out. Plus we have the Arena if it doesn't get stripped from our hand. Acidic Slime, okay. All right. We'll see what we get with the Bob Trigger, or what they get. Forest. Interesting. All right. Okay. I think we will take the Swamp out. I mean, it is unfortunate that we lost that, but it is what it is. I think here we will do the Croaks, which is a bit aggressive. but it is what it is. So Croxa trigger happens. They dump a Yawgmoth. We'll be able to block the Bob if he attacks. He probably won't. So we at least have a bit of a life buffer. A Skull Clamp. Eesh. That's no good. Seems that our opponent is taking this a little slow, but that's okay. Alright, our opponent plays another Forest. Tap for 2. See what they play. And an Orzhov Signet. Not bad. Not the best, but not bad. Opponent does not attack, which makes sense. Alright. I think... Do we attack? Yeah. I feel like this is kind of just the way. This is just like how it is. Luckily, we get the Croxa attack trigger, which is very nice. They dump an Avacyn's Pilgrim, which is, it's whatever. Okay. So, time to see what our opponent has to offer us. Ooh, God, ooze off the top? Wow. Geez, Bob's on the wrong team, I guess. Or on the right team. Alright, see what our opponent has. Maelstrom Pulse, alright. I think it would only be fitting to have a Fiery Confluence off the top. So we can close this one out like we have been most of the series. But we'll see. Croxa is such a fun card to play with. Okay. Well, that's not great. Okay, so we attack with a Croxa. Trigger happens. They discard their ooze. They block with the Bob. Okay. Then we'll jam the Arena. And hopefully this will manifest in either a suboptimal turn for our opponent or a Confluence off the top. So we'll pass priority and see what they have. An Eternal Witness. Interesting. Targeting Heartless Act. Okay. And a Skull Clamp for prosperity. All right. One time for Phyrexian Arena. Let's do this. That will do it. We will play our creature, kill their witness, and then swing for lethal. All right. Croxa ability, I guess. Got to play it through. Discarding a Pack Rat. Nice. And there we have it. All right, we got another Vintage Cube League in the books. We managed to get the 3-0. And honestly, I think this one might have been my favorite so far. The deck is really, really fun to play, and it's got some nutty lines, especially with what we saw in, I believe it was Match 2, Game 1. Man, I'll tell you, this deck was a blast to play, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I did playing it. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you again soon.